Who gave this child a crossbow?
Hey, what's going on guys, this is 12th Harbinger and welcome to my complete Mika guide. Mika is a cryopolam user with the ability to heal, grant attack speed bonus and physical damage bonus, which makes him a really strong physical damage support, as he can fill two roles of healer and support just like Bennett, but only for physical teams. So he is a must build character for physical mains. Without any further ado, let's get started. Starting with his skills. In his elemental skill Starfrost Swirl, Mika uses his crossbow to attack, granting all nearby characters in your party Soul Wind. When characters in the Soul Wind state are on the field, their attack speed will be increased. This skill has tap and hold version. On tapping the skill, he will fire a Flow Frost arrow that can pierce through opponents, dealing cryo damage to enemies it comes in contact with. In hold mode, he goes into aiming mode, locking onto an opponent and firing a Rhymestar Flare at them, dealing cryo damage. When the Rhymestar Flare hits, it will launch Rhymestar shards into a maximum of 3 other opponents, dealing cryo damage. The attack speed bonus is 20% at level 8 and the Soul Wind state lasts for 12 seconds. The skill cooldown is 15 seconds. His first ascension passive, Suppressive Barrage, is connected to his elemental skill. The Soul Wind state caused by his elemental skill will grant characters the Detector effect, increasing their physical damage by 10% when they are on the field. If the Flow Frost arrow, that is a tap version of his elemental skill, hits more than one opponent, each additional opponent hit will grant 1 detector stack. When a Rhymestar shard hits an opponent, it will generate 1 detector stack. Each Rhymestar shard can trigger the effect one time. Rhymestar shard is created by the arrow that Mika shoots in the whole version of his elemental skill, which is called Rhymestar Flare. The Soul Wind state can have a maximum of 3 detector stacks, and if his elemental skill is cast again during this duration, the pre-existing Soul Wind state and all his detector stacks will be cleared. On using his elemental burst Sky Feather Song, he will heal all party members and will grant them Eagle Plume state. When the normal attacks of active characters affected by Eagle Plume hits an opponent, they will regenerate HP based on Mika's max HP. Characters affected by this state can only regenerate HP in this way once every 2.5 seconds. The Eagle Plume state lasts for 15 seconds and the burst cost is 70. His second ascension passive, Topographical Mapping, is connected to his previous passive and his elemental burst. When an active character affected by both his burst and elemental skills simultaneously scores a crit hit with their attacks, they will get 1 stack of detector stack. Only 1 detector stack can be gained this way during a single instance of his elemental skill. Additionally, the maximum number of detector stacks that can be gained is increased by 1. Previously it was 3, so after unlocking this you can get 4 stacks. Moving on to his Constellations. The first one will decrease the healing interval of his elemental burst. Normally from his passive you were getting the stacks by hitting more than one opponent, but with the second Constellation you can get a stack just by hitting one opponent. This will be very helpful in single target situations. Constellation 3 and 4 are talent levels. Constellation 4 is when Mika's Sky Feather Song's Eagle Plume state, that is his burst, heals party members. This will restore 3 energy to Mika. This form of energy restoration can occur 5 times during the Eagle Plume state created by one use of his elemental burst. His 6th Constellation is absolutely broken and will buff your physical damage by a ton. The maximum number of detector stacks that Starfrost Swirl's Soul Wind can gain is increased by 1. Additionally, active characters affected by Soul Wind, that is his passive, will deal 60% more physical crit damage. I don't recommend pulling for Constellations as it might risk your PT, but if possible, you should get the second Constellation. His 6th Constellation is a huge upgrade, but it will take a lot of pulls and luck to get it. Moving on to his weapons. His best in slot weapon will be Favonius Lance, as it has energy recharge that will be helpful for Mika to maintain his burst uptime, and its passive also gives extra energy. If you don't have it available, you can use Black Tassel for more HP. For his artifact sets, if there are no Noblesse users in your team, Noblesse Oblige is your go-to set. If you plan to use it on someone else, you can give him 4-piece Ocean Clam set so that he can deal some off-field damage, and the physical resistance straight through Superconduct will also increase this damage. You can also use 4-piece Exile if you have energy issue on characters like Eula, as her burst energy cost is high. Alternatively, you can use 2 pieces of Ocean Clam, Maiden's Beloved, Emblem or Tenacity. Overall, Noblesse Oblige is his best in slot if there are no other Noblesse users, otherwise use Ocean Clam set. If you have energy issues, use 4-piece Exile. Regarding how much energy recharge you need on him, it's really difficult to tell as it varies depending on your team and the weapon you use. It will vary depending on how many Favonius users you have in your team and depending on how many cryo characters you are using or if you have Raiden Shogun in your team and if you have his 4th Constellation unlocked. With Mika as the only cryo in the team and with Favonius Lance, around 170 to 200% energy recharge should be enough on him. For artifact stats, HP percent or energy recharge depending on your stats, team and weapon you use. HP percent on Goblet and healing bonus or crit rate on Circlet. Try to get at least 50% crit rate with Favonius. For substats, try to get the required amount of energy recharge and 50% crit rate with Favonius Lance. And then try to get some HP percent and HP from substats. If you wish to use him as DPS, you can give him a highly refined Crescent Pike or any of these 5 stars. Other 4 stars you can use are the Dragon Spine Spear or the Deathmatch. And for artifacts you can mix and use 2 pieces of Bloodstained Chivalry, Pale Flame or any set that gives 18% attack. And for artifact stats, attack percent on Sands, physical damage bonus on Goblet and crit on Circlet. Prioritize crit stats, then attack percent and energy recharge from his substats. Moving on to his team comps, ideally you would want to use him as a support for your main physical DPS. So for the first slot, you will need your main DPS, it can be Eula, Razor, Xinyan, Physical Zhongli, etc. For Eula team, the next slot will be an electro character like Raiden, Fischl, Cookie, Beidou, etc. to proc Superconduct. And for the last slot, I recommend using another cryo character like Rosaria or Kaya who is a good cryo battery and can deal decent off-field damage, or you can use Diona or Layla for shields if you feel like you are getting interrupted too much or if Mika's healing is not enough for you to survive. Or you can use other supports or sub DPS like Zhongli, Yunjin or Fischl. I recommend using another cryo character for the last slot because you can build less energy recharge on your Eula and get more offensive stats on her. With Razor you can build similar teams. First slot will be Razor, second will be Mika, third will be another cryo like Rosaria, Kaya, Diona or Layla to apply consistent cryo and proc Superconduct. And for the last slot, another sub DPS like Fischl or supports like Yunjin or Zhongli. For physical Zhongli teams, you can use Zhongli, Mika, electro character and another cryo, or you can give up on Superconduct and use Zhongli, Mika, Bennett and Yunjin to get the extra buffs from Bennett and Yunjin and Geo Resonance. If you don't have Yunjin, you can use another Pyro for Pyro Resonance. For Xinyan, her team building is similar to Zhongli. You can ignore Superconduct and use her with Bennett and Yunjin or with Benny and Zhongli. For DPS Mika, use him with another Electro and Cryo to proc Superconduct consistently, and the last slot is Flex. It can be another Cryo character or sub DPS like Fischl or supports like Yunjin or Zhongli. Overall, Mika is a very strong physical support and will be a staple in physical teams, so he is a must build character if you are a physical main. I hope this video was helpful. Make sure to like the video and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.